Hello, everyone. Welcome to our healthy dessert making for the holidays class. And we are very happy to be here with you at the Salient Lifestyle Center in Elgin. It's the holiday season, it's December, so we're very glad you could make it. So thank you for making the time for this important class, because as we know, holidays are all about desserts, and healthy is the new cool, right? So we are making healthy desserts today. Why healthy desserts? So I'm sure you all know that in our country, the health of the population leaves much to be desired. And
okay, sure.
okay, and we
So I'll just say hello.
And we welcome Dr. Garg.
Thank you.
So what are healthy desserts about, right? So today we will be making two desserts. One is the sweet potato brownie, and the second is vanilla cheesecake. And we will not be using any white flour, any refined products, no eggs, no dairy, no sugar. So completely gluten-free, whole foods, plant-based. And one of the desserts also does not require any cooking. So it's a raw dessert, which makes it even better and faster too. So why no refined flour? Why aren't we using gluten? Because gluten, as many of you know, is associated with autoimmune diseases. It basically glues your whole digestive tract together so that the passage is blocked. So hence we have constipation and we have all kinds of other issues. So this is a dessert class, so I don't want to go into all those details, right? But you get the picture. So why no dairy? Dairy is also associated with lymphatic problems, with female organ problems, with kidney issues, and a lot of other different things. So are the eggs as well. And sugar, well, sugar is basically an industrial product. It cannot even be considered to be a food product because it goes through so many stages of processing that by the time it gets on the shelves at the store, the grocery store, it's no longer a food. So there is nothing that, left from the original beets or the sugar cane that this product came from. And especially if the sugar is made from GMO beets or GMO cane sugar, because GMOs are an endocrine disruptor and just a whole host of health issues, right? So we're not using sugar today. Instead, we're using maple syrup, which is much better. And our maple syrup comes from Vermont, from a beautiful, beautiful farm. So we are very conscious about what product we use. And we have Dr. Nature with us today. He is my husband and business partner.
Hello, everybody.
So did you want to add anything as far as the
well, you've
the
said
ingredients?
beautifully. We are trying to be as health conscious as we possibly can. In fact, we are trying to be the ultimate health conscious production line, and we always teach on whole food plant-based, the way that anything that you love can actually be made of whole food plant-based ingredients. It's just a matter of knowing how to substitute things and which choice of products to use, how to combine things in order to enjoy and bring the best health result possible. So yes, please enjoy and ask us questions.
Mm-hmm.
We're always open to
discuss
anything.
Thank you. So these are healthy and healing desserts, basically. Okay, so let's get started, right? We will start with the sweet potato brownies. Okay, so for the brownies, we will be using sweet potato mash. And sweet potato is a wonderful, wonderful ingredient to use. it doesn't have the same poisonous substances that are contained in regular potatoes, for example. So beautiful product, especially for the cold time of season. Very warming, very pacifying, very calming, right? So during the time when it is dry and cold and windy, and winter is usually associated with elevated fears of stress and anxiety and fear and loneliness and seasonal blues and all those kinds of things. So sweet potato really, really helps to mitigate all those things. So great product to use in the winter. And for the brownie, for the base, we are using sweet potato mash. It's very simple. You just cut up the potatoes. You can even leave the skin on and boil them. The way we make our sweet potato mash is we also add green cabbage to it. So everybody who came here, you will be getting the recipes as well if you leave your email address on the sign-up sheet there. So otherwise, you're welcome to take notes, of course. So, and then you just boil the sweet potato. You can add the green cabbage to it or not necessarily, so whatever you prefer. If you don't add the green cabbage, the sweet potato mash will be firmer, so your brownie will be firmer as well, okay? So in the interest of time, we have the puree already pre-made. So we're just going to mix everything up in a bowl. Our sweet potato mash. You can actually eat it as is. It makes a beautiful, beautiful dish. It doesn't have to go in your brownie, right? Can go well with other vegetables, with your lentil loaf, or with anything else that you are making. I don't think I know anyone who doesn't like sweet potato mash. Okay, so to this we will be adding nut butter. So it's about 4 cups of sweet potato mash. Okay, so now we need 2 cups of either almond butter or tahini or almond butter, tahini, basically any kind of nut butter or seed butter. So today we are using sunflower butter. And we're just adding that on top of the mash. So this is our base, right? We are substituting for the gluten, the refined flour that we don't want to use, and it works just as beautifully. Okay, so mix it up, mix it up. Make sure it's mixed well. I'll show you in a second. I'll add a few more ingredients. Okay, so to this mixture, we are adding half a cup of maple syrup. As I already mentioned, it's not as processed as regular refined sugar. So, and less processed means it's healthier for us, right? So that's the rule of thumb. The more natural, the less refined, the better it is for us. I remember when we first started out with healthy cooking, and it actually came to us when our first son was born, and I was hit with postpartum depression. Those of you who know us for many years, you know my story, but I always love sharing it. So we were in a very poor state of health, and then we were able to get healed with just basically through faith and healthy food. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And ever since then, we've been helping people be well and healthy and enjoy life. And eating this way actually gives you energy too, because I know so many people are lacking energy. They just feel lethargic, can't get up in the morning, very hard to get through the day. So does it sound familiar to any of you? Yes, I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Okay, so this is already looking very nice. And to that, we will be adding half a cup of cacao powder. And also very important, use organic ingredients as much as possible. We use 100% organic because we don't want all those pesticides and chemicals and all the toxic substance inside of our bodies. So just make sure to mix it well. And this is it, basically. This is our brownie, just 4 ingredients. When you are cooking your sweet potato mash, you can add a little bit of salt and pepper because they help to bring out the sweetness of the sweet potato and the maple syrup. Kind of helps to enhance the sweetness. So I think those two add to the flavor. Just a little bit of sea salt and black pepper. Okay. So this is what the mixture looks like. Can you see? Yes?
I'll bring it to that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you, Dr. Garg. Okay, and now we just need to line our baking pan with parchment paper. And we like using parchment paper as opposed to that wax paper, because if the food is touching the paper and it's heated, we want to make sure that no chemicals leach into the food, right? We don't want any additional exposure to toxins. Okay. All right, so that goes in the pan. Just always have to make sure that it's mixed really, really well. Okay, so when I'm not talking, it takes literally minutes. So today will be a short class. And then the next dish, I think, takes even less time, maybe. So healthy cooking doesn't have to be complicated. We go for not just healthfulness, but ease and simplicity as well. Because the fewer ingredients, the better. When we eat something that's really complicated, complex, has a lot of ingredients, our bodies get confused because, you know, what do we process first? Do we process the carbs? Do we process the proteins? Do we process something else? So especially when we combine carbs, for example, grains and legumes or meat with potatoes and bakery products and fruit, it's like lethal stuff, truly, because the body is utterly confused and cannot do its job. And our bodies are so smart. Our bodies have not been created by us, right? Our bodies have been created by a higher power. So, really what we need to do is eat right, eat the right way, and let our bodies do their job. That's it. Very simple. Okay, and now we stick it in the oven for 25 minutes at 350 degrees. Okay, so then when it's time to sample the desserts, you will see what it looks like when it's baked.
Do you peel and bake the potato first?
Yes, you can actually bake the potatoes, or you can. Sure. I'll repeat the question. Do we peel and bake the potatoes, right, to make the sweet potato mash? We do not peel the potatoes because the skin contains a lot of important nutrients, so we like to leave the skin on. And you can either bake the potatoes or boil the potatoes. So if you bake them, when you blend the potatoes, so you will need to use the blender to make the mash, and you will need to use some liquid. If you boil the potatoes, you can just use like an immersion blender, not a blender like that, and the sweet potato will not require any additional liquid. So it's up to you. But thank you for the question. I have to mention that the flavor may be more enhanced if you bake the sweet potato. Okay. Any other questions about this particular dish? Yes?
What liquid do you add to the baked potatoes? Because I do like the taste of a baked potato.
Wonderful. So you can either use just filtered water. Okay, so the question, thank you. The question is, what kind of liquid do we use to make the sweet potato mash if we use baked sweet potato? You can either use filtered water, or you can use the water, the cooking water in which you cook the sweet potato. I mean, no, that's boiled sweet potato. Yes, so you can either use vegetable stock, although it's a dessert, or you can use just filtered water. Let's put it this way. Make it easy for you. Okay, any other questions before we move on to the next dish? No? Are you all waiting to taste it? Do you all want to know what sweet potato and cabbage tastes like in a dessert? All right. Okay, so next dessert, vanilla cheesecake. So for the vanilla cheesecake, we will need a blender. So I will explain why I'm using 2 blenders in a second. And we will also need parchment paper, our ingredients, and a springform pan. Okay, so line your springform pan. So this is ready to go. And we like to use all stainless steel, right, for cooking. By the way, yes, very important to mention. And I just did a video about this last week or 2 weeks ago, where I explained the safe and good types of cookware to use. So that includes glass, 100% ceramic, stainless steel, and cast iron. So no aluminum, no coated cookware, no Teflon and things like that, because they all have chemicals and basically poisonous, full of poisonous toxins that we don't want to use. Okay, so for this, we will be using the following ingredients. There will be 2 layers to the cake. The first layer is nuts, hazelnuts in this case, and dates. And then the actual cheesecake layer will consist of cashews, soaked cashews, and a few other things. So, like I said, it's completely raw. It will not be baked. So, and when we eat raw things, it's even better for our bodies because they still have most of the nutrients that are found in fresh and living and growing foods. So we're not destroying any of the nutrients by cooking. No gluten, no flour, again, no sugar involved, and just so easy to make. And we can live without all those unhealthy products, right? So I like to use a small blender for this because it's just one cake. When we are making, a whole bunch of cakes, of course, we are using other equipment, but this is it's just one cake and we don't have a lot of ingredients. I like using 𝗬𝗎𝗎𝗿 for this. So I've used all kinds of blenders, commercial grade, all kinds of things. And I find that 𝗬𝗎𝗎𝗿 or Magic Bullet really do the job when it comes to fine grinding. So really, really like it. And it's not expensive at all. And you can find it anywhere. I'll be back in a second. Okay. Is this working? Let's see. Alex, I don't think it works. Thank you for your patience. So in the meantime, I can answer your questions. What is in the blender? In the blender, hazelnuts. So we are basically processing half a cup of hazelnuts and half a cup of dates now. And that will make our base, right? And then we will mix the rest of the ingredients and just pour that mixture over the base and stick it in the freezer. I can plug it in there. That's no problem. No? Let me try now. Yes, thank you, thank you. Now it's working. Okay. So we're just going to pulse. And we want to process the nuts until they kind of stick together. This is good. Then we'll add our dates to the nuts. Actually, what you can do is you can also soak the dates. And we need to use speeded dates, of course. Soak them so that it's easier for the blender to mix them together. Okay. Just a little more. And one more time. Okay, beautiful. Now it's sticking together. We don't want it too crumbly because then the base won't work. Ooh, nice. See, a little gooey, and it's like Play-Doh, basically, edible Play-Doh. Then we just put it all in the springform pan. And at this point, you can either use a spatula or I just like using my hands. And you just press the mixture down to cover the entire bottom of the springform pan. See, it's really easy. Requires almost no effort. Okay. Some people make it really even and perfect. I like it looking like that, so that it still looks handmade, right? We are not after perfection here. Okay, so that's it for the base. How simple is that, right? Now we will be making our cheesecake filling now. And let me switch my blender. Okay. All right, so like I said, we are using soaked cashews for the base of this filling. And why cashews? Because when soaked, they just have this creamy, very nice, smooth texture when they're blended. So you can also use macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts are, of course, more expensive, but they do not have the same type of lectins that cashews do. So for a lot of the times, macadamia would be a much better option, healthier, but cashews work just as well. So we need about 2.5 cups of soaked cashews. And the way we soak cashews is we just rinse the cashews first, dry cashews. Then we put them in a container, a bowl of some sort, and cover with filtered water. Always try to use filtered water for your cooking needs, right? And just leave it for 6 to 8 hours or overnight, and then discard the soaking water, rinse your cashews again, and they're ready to go. Also, what may be a good idea, it takes longer, but it's so much better for our health, is to sprout the nuts. So that will take about 3-4 days. It takes longer in the winter time. So, and you just need to regularly change the water 2-3 times a day, and just let them sit in the water. Oh, so leave them in the water for the night, and then no water during the day, and do that for like 2-3 days, 4 days sometimes, and you get your sprouted cashews, which is even better for digestion. Okay, so to the cashews, we are adding 1/2 cup of lemon juice, 1/2 cup of maple syrup, and 1/4 cup of coconut oil. So coconut oil is a much better, healthier alternative to regular butter. But it has to be cold pressed virgin coconut oil and organic. So, and then we just blend everything together. This will take a few minutes. you want it really, really smooth. So I will give it a little more time. Okay, beautiful. This is done. And this is, oh, that looks beautiful. Look at that, guys. Very smooth and creamy. Smells so good. So this combination, secret combination of cashews and lemon juice give it this cheesecake-like consistency and flavor too, right? Like the regular cheesecake. And what coconut oil does when it's cold, you know that it firms up, right? So it keeps everything together. But it's really better to put it in the freezer and then cut it while it's still not completely thawed out. Okay, we just pour this on top of the crust. Thank you so much. I really like doing classes here at the Salient Lifestyle Center because there is a full kitchen here, so we have access to everything we need. Okay. So then just make it even. And this is our cheesecake. Can you see it? I don't want to tilt it too much. Yeah, okay, thank you. Yes, wonderful. Okay, so before I show you what happens after the brownies are baked and after the cake is frozen, by the way, it's better to cover the top of the springform pan with the lid or wrap of some sort. So do you have any questions before we enjoy the prepared product? Yes?
Irina, thank you for such a beautiful presentation. I have a question regarding soaking the nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I think you know my daughter, so we go back and forth and we use
Yes.
a lot of your suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
And do we soak them outside of the refrigerator or inside the refrigerator when we soak the nuts?
Mm-hmm. Great. So the question is, do we soak the nuts outside of the refrigerator or inside the refrigerator? So if it's not too hot, then you can leave them at room temperature. If it is hot, it's summertime, you know, it's hot in the house, then it's better to keep them in the fridge. Also, if you know that for some reason, so you have been soaking them outside of the fridge, right? And then you realize that you will not be able to use them until later. So just put them in the fridge. Discard the water, put them in the fridge. They will last there a few days. Mm-hmm.
Does that also include when you're sprouting them, or does it interfere with the cold temperature? Does it interfere with the sprouting?
With the sprouting, it does. It definitely does. Yes. Soak them outside of the fridge if you want to sprout them.
And my final question is, what about when you melt the oil? How do you melt it? Do you just leave it at room temperature? When the room temperature is still solidified, do we warm it up a little bit? Do we, in a pan, because do we use the microwave? Do we not use it?
Sure, great question. So the question is, how do we melt the coconut oil if it's solid? So you can actually put some in a container and then place it in the hot water. So that's one way. We never recommend using the microwave, of course. Also, what you can do is you can put, the needed amount of coconut oil, solid coconut oil in a pan, and over low flame, just bring it to melting point without heating it up much. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you use vanilla?
Vanilla, yes. Vanilla extract, you can definitely use it. The reason we're not using any vanilla extract today, or we haven't for a long time, is because most of the vanilla extract is either not organic or comes with alcohol, and we don't use alcohol. So yes, so there is, I believe, just 1 or 2 kinds of organic vanilla extract that doesn't come with alcohol, but it's very expensive. So you're definitely welcome to look for it. And I believe it's $60 a bottle. Yes, but this is the best quality that you want to look for.
Or vanilla beans, right?
Or vanilla beans, yes, absolutely. Yes, vanilla beans are wonderful. You can definitely add a little bit of vanilla beans here, and it will, bring out that vanilla flavor more. Mm-hmm.
Soften the cashews if you don't have 6 to 8 hours. Can you boil them or put them like in an instant pot for a little bit and soften them?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, if you don't necessarily want it to be a raw dessert, you can absolutely do that. Yes.
Thank you.
Good. Yes, of course. Okay, so now let's see what the prepared products look like. Can you please get the vanilla cheesecake out of the fridge? So this is our sweet potato brownie. Thank you. And vanilla cheesecake. Can you please get me a little plate? Like a pretty plate. That's fine. Okay. The one we brought here was frozen, so it's actually good to go. So this is what it looks like. Do you mind maybe walking around and showing what it looks like? Thank you. So it's not your regular brownie, as you can imagine, right? But it's wholesome and it's delicious. There are many different ways of making brownies, but we enjoyed this one. We enjoyed this recipe. Yes, of course, yes.
Yeah, and I wanted to thank Irina and Kareem for coming again to Salient Lifestyle Center and giving us this special cooking demo. So it is just in time for the holidays, and we hope you all enjoy the holidays and hope you can try this with your family. This is the best way to introduce them to healthy eating, is feed them dessert first. So, and then I wanted to tell you that Purple Sprout Conscious Organics is located in the Chicago area, that if you are too busy and you just want to pick it up, they have the wonderful varieties of dessert. My favorite is the mint one, the mint chocolate.
Chocolate mint, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So any other questions at all here? So we just, wanted to let you know that 5 o'clock is Depression Recovery Program upstairs. So we'll finish up by then, but you will all get the recipes, and look out for Salient Center's other programs at salient.eventbrite.com. And to see this recording, go to YouTube's channel of Salient Lifestyle Center and click on live. All of the live presentations that we have done are on there. Thank you. Yes.
I was trying to copy what she was saying about the recipe.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
there any place I could find it online?
Oh, so you'll email the recipes. If you
Correct.
put your email address on that paper, she will email. So the nice thing is these are secret recipes. They're special. They've been tested for a long time. And it's a great gift to everyone to receive those recipes. And we hope that you can make it and share it and introduce your family to healthy plant-based eating. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Gard.
you.
Yes, and so I hope that you make these desserts for the holidays, and don't tell anyone that these are healthy desserts. Then don't give out the ingredients until you hear people say, "Oh, this is so good, this is so yummy," and then you can spill the beans, right? Okay, so and this is our vanilla cheesecake. This is what it looks like when it comes out of the freezer, and so it has been thawed out, and I wanted to show you some ideas for decoration. Those of you who attended our last class when we showed how to make the chocolate, 3-ingredient chocolate. So this is what I'm using right now. So I'm just sprinkling that on top of the vanilla cheesecake. And what you can also do, you can use some dried edible flowers to decorate. So a little bit of lavender, and I'll use this. I love this color. Pomegranate flower sprinkles. Oh, looks so festive, right? Can you please show this around and also in the camera? Thank you. Pretty, right? Simple, delicious, and beautiful. How can you go wrong with that? Yes?
Where can you get the lavender powder and pomegranate flowers? Is there a specific store that we can get things like that?
Just on Amazon. If you look for those things, yes, you'll find them.
Irina, how much, you mentioned you put green cabbage in with the brownies.
I'm sorry.
You mentioned that you put green cabbage in with the sweet potato. How much?
So the way we make our sweet potato mash, the question is how much of the sweet potato, how much of the green cabbage. We use 2-to-1 ratio, so twice as much sweet potato as the green cabbage. Beautiful, thank you. If you don't mind, maybe cutting this up, the cake, and we'll be ready to enjoy.
How many pieces?
Make 20.
So we can stop the recording. Thank you.
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you so much. Happy you could join us.